was having a conversation with the CEO of a large car company, and one of the things that I asked him is, what does he wish he could do a better job of? And he said that he really wishes he could do a better job of disconnecting. And he said that he gets a lot of his best ideas, and he's able to think big picture about the vision and the strategy of the company when he's able to disconnect. But when he's constantly bombarded by technology and emails and calls and meetings, he's not able to focus on that big picture, on the vision and strategy of the organization. So this is something that he is very much working on, and this is something that a lot of executives are telling me that they're working on as well. Learning to disconnect and learning to just think about things, to process information. There's a great quote by Dev Seidman. He's an author and speaker on ethical leadership. And he said, when you push the pause button on a machine, it stops. But when you push the pause button on a human, it starts. And that's what we want to focus on. Starting, booting up, powering up. Look around you for a minute. Look at how many technology devices are next to you. Is it your cell phone? Are you near a TV, near a computer, a laptop of some kind? Look at how many different devices are around you. And all these different devices are constantly sending you signals. Pick me up, type on me, turn me on, right? Constantly being bombarded with all these technologies that are coming our way. And if you're like most people, your smartphone, and I'm assuming you have a smartphone, is constantly within arm's reach. You go to bed with it, you wake up with it, you eat dinner with it, you go on vacation with it, it goes with you everywhere. It's kind of like an additional limb that's attached to your body. Consider that the average person checks their smartphone 85 times a day, but they only believe they check their smartphone for half that amount of time. In fact, 45% of employees regularly check their email when they're not even at work. Being constantly connected is a major issue, and employees around the world are constantly reporting that they feel burned out, they feel exhausted, and technology is one of the major reasons for why that's happening. Now I get it. Technology is a big part of the future of work. In fact, it's one of the biggest parts of the future of work that we keep hearing about. It's all about connecting with people, collaborating with people. You can be on different time zones, different parts on planet Earth. I mean, you can be anywhere and you can collaborate and stay connected. But the big problem is that we always assume that connectivity implies availability. And work today seems like it's just moving faster. We're constantly supposed to be doing more with less. People constantly want information and feedback from us faster. And so we feel like we really have to struggle to keep up with technology and with all these requests that technology bring with them. Connectivity is a big part of the future of work. It's what allows us to build businesses. It allows us to stay in touch with friends, with family members. It allows us to collaborate and communicate with employees around the world. And it's essentially what we use to work. In fact, without technology, most of us probably wouldn't be able to do our jobs. In fact, probably wouldn't even be able to live a normal life. So technology is a very big and integral part of our lives, both at work and at home. But the big problem starts to come in when technology starts to control our lives instead of us being able to control technology. Then we start to see some very unhealthy and bad habits start to form. And there have been countless studies that show how an over-reliance on technology can increase levels of stress, how it can negatively impact our relationships with family members, with friends, with spouses, significant others, with coworkers. It can impact your physical health. It can lead to strain, a sedentary lifestyle where you start to feel like you're not exercising anymore. It can lead to poor sleep habits. And of course, it can also lead to poor mental health, as we start to see now with these conversations that we're having around social media and technology addiction. There have been books and studies and articles that are being released on a regular basis which start to explore how these different technologies, how these social media are negatively impacting our lives. And so many of us are used to technology in every aspect of our lives. In fact, we even take notes on technologies. I remember when I was in college and I still had to take notes on a notepad, a piece of paper with a pen. And what's really interesting is that there was a study that was published by the Association of Psychological Science. And they actually found that when you take notes with a pen and paper, your level of understanding and absorption of the information is actually much higher than when you take notes on a computer. So we see that even when you disconnect, there are greater benefits to how you absorb information. And I get it. Technology is a good thing. But as with anything, when you have too much of it, it can start to be a bad thing. I love food, but if you eat too much, you start to gain weight and you experience health problems. I love to work out, but if you work out too much, then you're going to start to hurt yourself. I love to sleep, But if you sleep too much, you see where I'm going with this. And I also like technology, as I'm sure do you. But again, using technology too much will also start to negatively impact your personal and your professional life. Not only is disconnecting from technology good for our mental health, good for our physical health, it's also good for that idea of being able to look at the big picture. Think about that CEO that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, where a lot of the time he gets his best ideas for his 250,000 person company when he's not around technology, when he's just able to sit and ask questions, explore ideas, and kind of go inward instead of spending so much time looking at a screen, answering emails, going to meetings, stuff like that. In fact, I spend a lot of time doing this myself. When I try to plan things for my business or plan things for my life, oftentimes what I do is I just take out a notepad and a pen and I start jotting things down. A lot of the keynotes that I deliver start off getting conceptualized on a notepad with a pen. The visuals that I create, a lot of which are delivered on social media, also start off by me doodling things on a piece of paper with a pen or a pencil. So it's important for us to be able to disconnect from technology and look at that big picture. It's good for your professional life. It's good for your personal life as well. And I really love this quote from the philosopher Seneca, who said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." And clearly that's not a place where we want to be, right? We want to be somewhere. We want to have a clear direction of where we want to go with our lives, with our careers. And that's why, again, it's important to disconnect from technology to allow us to have that time to focus and to think big picture for our lives, for our organizations. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Check out futureofworkpodcast.com for more content. And do me a favor, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever your preferred channel is. Thank you.